line at right angles, and that was pretty effective over short distances.
If the obstacle was impassable, the road would take a dogleg around it. But often the roads were cut straight through entire hillsides. The Emperor Trajan engineered a cutting 120 feet deep to extend the Appian Way along the coast. The idea of building a straight road from scratch was a new one. Up until now, roads had evolved from ancient tracks. They sidestepped rivers and avoided hills. But to the Roman mind, this was inefficient. Nothing would stand in the way of the Via Appia. And when the road came to marshland, a special causeway was laid beneath it. This consisted of a wooden platform. Posts were driven into the swamp, supporting a frame. Sometimes entire tree trunks were laid across, before the road was built up with a layer of limestone flags covered with pebbles and gravel. One of the astounding features of Roman roads is how durable they proved to be. They were all built to the same formula. A broad trench was dug and filled with sand and boulders to form a solid foundation. Next went a layer of gravel and coarse stone. This was mixed with clay or mortar before being compacted. Finally, a layer of cambered paving stones, sometimes of basalt, formed the top surface, allowing any water to drain off to the sides. Every 1,000 paces or Roman mile was marked by a cylindrical milestone, engraved with details of the current emperor and the distance to the next town. Camps and staging posts were installed every 10 miles. While roads held the empire together, it was architecture that displayed Roman mastery of the world. The most visionary Roman building remains a landmark in world architecture, the Pantheon. It is a temple dedicated to all the gods and was built by the Emperor Hadrian in 125 AD. Like a time capsule, the Pantheon remains the best preserved Roman building, marking one of the greatest achievements in world architecture. Its central feature, an oculus, a circular hole 30 feet wide, open to the heavens. Its dome, 143 feet across, meant its designers were taking a risk. It was the largest ever made without reinforced concrete. The facade of the Pantheon was designed to express Roman mastery of the world. The Greek portico was supported by 16 of the finest columns. Made from Egyptian granite, they were quarried thousands of miles away in Aswan, Lower Egypt, and brought all the way to Rome. The crossbeams running above them were once sheathed in bronze. From here, two gigantic bronze doors, 21 feet high, open onto a vast circular area. The Pantheon was a fusion of both classical and modern styles. It had no architectural precedent. The whole space inside was unsupported, unique in temple design. The Pantheon's dome was an engineering masterpiece.
Building the dome of the Pantheon was the biggest engineering challenge that the Romans ever set themselves. It had twice the span of any dome that they built previously. The key problem with building any dome is how to stop it collapsing under its own weight. All the time, it's trying to push out at the bottom and to fall through the middle. The Romans solved this in two ways. Firstly, they made it very, very thick. And then to stop the dome spreading outwards at the bottom, they built it inside massive buttress-like walls and with a ring of collars around the base of the dome itself. This was a brilliant solution.
The architect had planned for the weight of the giant semi-sphere to be supported by just 8 piers. These needed to be strong and were built 20 feet thick. But to help reduce their overall weight, they had hollow inspection shafts running up inside them. The dome itself is a highly advanced piece of futuristic engineering. Its construction had been worked out to reduce its weight and pressure. It contains many sophisticated features, and its builders used 5 different types of cement to build it. The architect hid inside the walls a complicated series of arches. These were designed to reduce weight and to direct the pressure down onto the supporting piers. The architect further reduced the weight of the dome by cutting out large square panels called coffers. These gave added rhythm and decoration, as well as losing many tons of weight.
The coffers of the dome were gilded, and so it would have resembled a kind of golden canopy above your head.
It was built using a self-supporting wooden frame beneath it. This determined the shape of the coffers and moldings. At the top was the oculus, a circular opening almost 30 feet across, allowing an open view to the heavens. This ingenious feature removed the point of maximum stress from the dome and has helped to ensure the building's survival. The most infamous building on Earth, the Colosseum. Behind its beautiful walls were once terrifying scenes of combat, of blood, of death. The building was the largest and most notorious of all Roman amphitheaters. Standing taller than 16 stories, the Colosseum could hold a crowd of over 80,000. It was an arena of entertainment and a cathedral of death. Plans to build the Colosseum began after the death of the Emperor Nero. His rule of terror had left public morale so low that Vespasian, who followed him, had to build something exceptional to win back public support.
Vespasian was something of an anomaly amongst the Roman emperors. He was hardworking, sober, a plain dealer, honest, frugal. The Romans liked him.
In AD 70, Vespasian's engineers drained Nero's private lake and laid the foundations for Rome's largest amphitheater. The oval design encompassed a central arena. High-banked terraces were designed to give every spectator a clear view of the ring. Inside, there was a labyrinth of vaulted tunnels. There were 76 entrances, allowing crowds of spectators to swarm along the passages to the seats above. Inside, the whole structure rested upon load-bearing piers, braced with arches and vaults.
Vaulting gives us this domed roof, like the one above me, made out of a Roman concrete placed on a wooden frame or formwork, and arches like this one, made out of cut stone blocks. Together, the arches and the vaults give us a wide, open public space for people to mingle and circulate. And the arches give the Colosseum its distinctive architectural appearance all around the outside.
Moving up the facade, the first 3 floors were arched. The 4th and 5th were solid walls of concrete faced with brick. Modern building techniques enabled the 150-foot high facade to be put up quickly. 300 tons of iron cramps helped to bond all the masonry together. Standard sizes of brick and easily mixable concrete allowed production line efficiency on site. Vespasian had no time to lose. He was in a hurry to win back the people before his years overtook him. The Colosseum was the answer. And as emperor, he would have the best seat. Beside him would sit senators. On the tier above, noblemen. Above, soldiers and citizens. Above them, slaves. The worst seats of all, on the very top story, were for women. Above, an awning protected the spectators from the sun. 1,000 sailors were stationed in Rome to erect its sails. Yet despite the speed of its construction, Vespasian would never live to see the Colosseum's completion. He died before his great gift was realized. It would be his son Titus who would officially open the most terrifying arena on Earth. For 100 days, he treated the people of Rome to the killing of wild beasts, the executions of men, women, and children, as well as gladiatorial contests. This industrial-scale slaughter was all made possible by engineering. Hidden beneath the arena, a labyrinth of tunnels allowed stage sets and dead bodies to be moved in and out. There were 32 animal pens holding caged lions, tigers, elephants, and crocodiles. But by turning a winch, the doors of their cages could be opened, and trapdoors would release the bewildered and hungry creatures into the arena. As many as 5,000 a day were slaughtered. Some species were reduced to the point of extinction. The highlights of any day were the gladiators. Many were enslaved prisoners of war from conquered tribes, the Samnites, the Thracians, and the Gauls. If they lived long enough to see out their contracts, they could become free men. The Colosseum made some gladiators into heroes and superstars. Some would be given a second chance. Others would die within its walls, their bodies dragged away at the end of a contest. 42 emperors would benefit from Vespasian's vision. The Colosseum was a building designed to keep the people happy. It succeeded, but the price was high. 700,000 souls would die within its walls. The Colosseum remains today as a masterpiece of design, shrouding the darkest memories of the most ruthless civilization. The wonders of Rome were all outstanding creations, pushing architecture and engineering to a level unsurpassed for well over 1,000 years. The audacity of their construction still challenges architects to better them, to develop new materials, to solve new problems, to do as the Romans did, and build into the future.